Well, joining us to discuss these latest developments in Nigeria is our political analyst, Joseph Danquah. Joseph, thanks for coming in. This horrific story, 69 people burned to death in Anambra, just a tragedy you can't really put into words.
Yes, it's a very, very, very sad situation. I mean, there's been a history of such accidents happening in Nigeria, and it's due to lack of maintenance of the roads and safety standards also. And it's something which should be looked at, because you see, this is a unnecessary destruction of human life and curtailing of human capital, and it's very, very sad.
Yeah, what do you think needs to be done to stop this happening? Because as you say, this isn't the first time. In 2012, over 100 people died in a similar accident. I think they were actually trying to get up some of the petrol that had been spilled, because again there was a fuel crisis then. We're not sure if that's the case in this instance. But what needs to happen in Nigeria? Because this can't continue.
No, it shouldn't, and it can, and it shouldn't happen again, because they need to set out stringent safety measures in terms of like the standards for for those tankers. They should be maintained regularly, and the roads should also be maintained. But the most important is that people should look at road safety as a major national issue, because in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, drivers or commercial vehicle drivers, or maybe even private car drivers, don't take driving seriously. And for us as a continent, this should be seen as a major issue.
Do you think it's more awareness generally amongst people in Nigeria about safety, road safety? These kind of things do happen, so watch out for them, and generally being aware on the road.
Yes, there should be a sustained campaign to make them aware of the dangers of driving over speed, making sure your cars are maintained, doing the MOT properly without going through the back door, and also making sure that human lives are, kept, intact through safety.
Well, let's continue on another Nigerian story. 6 of the country's most senior central bank officials arrested over alleged currency fraud. This happened before Buhari took office. But is this a sign of things to come, do you think? Do you think this is what the country has been looking for years, during what has allegedly been, quite during Goodluck Jonathan's period at least, quite corruption-filled? Is this what people have been really yearning for?
Yes, I think so. They are yearning for something to be done about corruption, which has been the #1 problem of Nigeria. Looking at it, this arrest happened before Buhari came to power, but it could be a precursor to things to come. Also, that organization, the Economic Crimes Commission, also were seem to be lame duck under Goodluck. Maybe they've been given an extra muscle with the coming to power of President Buhari. So let's see what happens. But I hope it is not the first and the last. I hope it should be a continuous and consistent thing, not a witch hunt, but an forensic investigation into corruption.
Yeah, well, apparently the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, as you say, they've been accused of being weak. Apparently, part of the reason that people think that they haven't done that much until now to clamp down on stuff like this is because they were seeing the bigwigs at the top were untouchable, and the middlemen were the kind of people who were getting arrested, or so the people who were really pulling the strings were untouchable. You couldn't sort of bring them down, so they were kind of complicit in it and would take bribes themselves. So it's good to see that something is being done about it. Maybe the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission will be bolstered, or maybe Buhari will change it completely.
Yes, I think the thing that most of the time, many of these organizations which investigate crime or corruption, they need to be given a political muscle. They need to be given some political backing to be able to push through that agenda. But if you have a government which is against it, you cannot work properly. So therefore, if General Buhari or President Buhari has sanctioned the clampdown on corruption, it will give a muscle to this Financial and Economic Crimes Commission to do its work properly. So it's all got to do with the government in power and the government of the day and its attitude towards eradicating corruption.
Yeah, and I'm sure we will see that with Buhari making all the signs, at least, that is going to happen. 1 million refugees in Nigeria and neighbouring countries due to Boko Haram, vulnerable to chronic food shortages. How worried should we be about this?
Very worried. I mean, this is something which until now has been very silent in the international media. And I think that, you see, because of many of the farmers up north of Nigeria, more or less, they move along with their cattle and they graze, and they are subsistence farmers. And with the rise of Boko Haram, they're not able to grow enough. So therefore, they have to rely on agencies like the World Food Programme to give them food. But you see, with time, if that aid is not sustainable, it's not coming in as it used to or it's supposed to, then it's going to create a crisis which we are now seeing might become, acute. But you see, looking at the food problem in this crisis of Boko Haram, it's gaining an international dimension in terms of like countries like Cameroon, Niger, and Chad are getting involved. So there should be the World Food Organization program should put this eye on it and then move forward on this issue.
Because, Joseph, it's very easy for us to look at the main headlines, and Nigerian military obviously have been doing very, very well against Boko Haram recently and driving them out. But these are issues that don't really get raised is what Boko Haram leave behind, and often they leave absolute and total chaos and carnage, and people can't go back to their livelihoods like they could before.
Yes, it's true, because apart from that, they leave, they attack an area. People can't go because they might be scared that it might be minefield. Also, there might be those who are the most productive of the society must have been maimed, killed, must have been harassed. So therefore, these are triple implications of the Boko Haram attacks. So we're looking at it from the perspective that this Boko Haram issue not only has it's got a political dimension to it, but it's got other social and economic problems, which we are seeing now in northeast Nigeria.
And probably something that the rest of the continent should be keeping an eye on at least, and helping if necessary. Joseph Danquah, we will be rejoining you later in the programme, but for now, very interesting. Thank you very much indeed.